From the field to the card shop, it's Moon 3PO and Bro PO breaking down baseball and the hottest sports cards. I am your host, Moon 3PO, followed with Bro PO. Bro PO, how you doing? We're episode 5. How's your night going so far?
I'm good, man. We got some interesting topics here. Got a couple card sets to go over. We're gonna go over your interesting night at Topps Rip Night that I unfortunately could not attend. So we got a little details on that, and then we're gonna hit in some latest news. So yeah, should be a good one. Should be a good one.
Yeah, this is going to be a very loaded episode. Like I mentioned here, episode 5. If you guys are watching on YouTube and haven't seen the other 4 episodes, please feel free to check those out. There are video formats of those episodes. If you're listening to on Spotify and or Apple, of course, those audio versions are also available to you. But yeah, this is going to be a very fun episode. Not a lot of number heavy base. I know the last couple of episodes we were really diving deep into the numbers, and I know that can be a little bit boring for some people, or maybe it's just a lot of information. So this is going to be more of just a little bit of a chat, a friendly back and forth, talking some sports card, talking some ball. Um, Kind of hit ahead here a little bit. We are going to recap Top Trip Night that was this past weekend. Going to go over my overall experience, what we saw at our local hobby stores. We got Update Series 2 officially released. Of course, we're going to go over that. Not a lot of information, unfortunately, but we'll go over that. And then, yeah, just some overall general baseball news that happened throughout the week a little bit later. But hey, it's always fun to talk about it, and it's ball, so it doesn't ever get old. But yeah, let's kick off with Top Strip Night. If you guys haven't, again, check out the YouTube page here, Moon3PO. I did have a little bit of a daily vlog kind of detailing that night. Our local hobby store did have an end card little show, about 5 to 10 vendors, give or take, and then went straight into Top Strip Night. Now, I know you didn't go. I mentioned it in episode 4, but that you potentially may or not attend. But like we've discussed here, very busy man, father man, working man, very busy. So it was just me. My fiance also had a very long week, so she didn't go to the actual trading card show. She did come with me to Rip Night. She bought some Pokemon cards, so she did rip open some cards. Again, you'll see that in the vlog. So I highly recommend you go check out the vlog. But yeah, overall Top Strip Night. This was the first one that I went to. I missed out. I believe the last time they had it a couple of months ago, it was like trade night. So I did not go to that. So this is kind of like the first true experience for Rip Night. Overall, it was a very good turnout. It just in our general location. Obviously, if you guys don't know, we live in Texas. We live in San Antonio. I've kind of hinted that if you guys know about that. And obviously, the biggest one that we saw was Victor Wembanyama making an appearance at our local hobby store, Boomtown. And we were kind of losing our minds because we kind of heard some rumblings that it was going to happen, may not happen. Um, but it was very cool, not just Victor Wembanyama, seeing other stars and other celebrities and athletes attending shows. I know we had Dana White. He was opening up some trading cards. Kevin Hart, he's pretty big in the hobby. He has some Topps cards. He was ripping open some cards. I think I saw James Harden, things like that. And I
Tom Brady was ripping up packs, I think too.
Tom Brady, he's been at the National. He was ripping open packs. Mike Trout was trading with people. So it was very cool to see that. And I kind of want to throw it to you for that. When you see that as like a general, normal person in the hobby, like what do you think about that? When you see like celebrities ripping packs, with kids, adults, attending your hobby stores, like Victor Wembanyama appearing at a cart store ripping open Topps Chrome Star Wars. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember when I saw the video on Twitter of Wemby at the card shop. I think Topps Rip Night hadn't even started yet. So I saw it on Twitter, sent the video to you. I was like, dude, I was like, is this Booped Out or where is he at? From what I think I heard, I think it might have been like a private event or something like that. But yeah, it looked like it looked fun. He got to interact with a lot of kids. I think he even ripped open some packs. He was doing like a pack battle with some of the kids. I think he even ripped open some Star Wars packs if he's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, he hates Disney Star Wars,
But
which
yeah,
I
it's just
respect that a little bit.
yeah, I mean that's a whole nother story. But no, it was really cool to see him at the card shop. It's pretty cool, and that card shop is fairly new. So for him to be there, I think it's probably even big for them. And I mean, they even got tagged on Topps' pose. So yeah, I mean that's good business for them. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see the celebs rip packs. It's cool.
Yeah, no pun intended. Boomtown's literally bringing the boom. If you know what I if you know what I know, if you know, you know. They're literally bringing the boom to the sports car, especially in our hometown. I unfortunately was not at that card show. At that event, I was not at that hobby store. I was at another one that's a little bit closer to me because they are a little bit further out. But I probably got to start going to Boomtown because they're definitely doing some good things in our hobby in our general area as
Yeah,
well.
we need to do like a weekend, like just head up on up there and just to see. Um, I don't know. Maybe we can even get some. We can talk to them a little bit.
Yeah,
See if they want to record something
that was the
small. I
idea
don't
that I
know.
had in my head. I definitely we've been, and that was going to be kind of the final thought, but we've been definitely I've been cooking up some things on my end. But yeah, I definitely want to see if they'll be
We can save
interested.
it for final thought.
Yeah, I definitely want to see if they'll be interested because yeah, like I mentioned, they are definitely bringing the boom in the hobby. And yeah, going back to Rip Night, it was very fun. I ripped. I know I was kind of talking crap about Bowman Chrome. I did cave in a little bit. I did buy a box of Bowman Chrome. If you again want to see the pools there, again go check out the vlog. But yeah, overall, it was very fun. I saw some familiar faces. You know, people I see. You know, typically at the card shows. You know, and anytime you can go with family, friends, anything like that. It's always fun. And of course, they gave out free packs. My fiance ripped open a free hobby rip night pack. Some kids, you know, pulled Paul Skeens. I saw one kid, I think I'm not too sure where they pulled a 101 Jackson Holiday. Like, that's crazy. So I mean, it's very fun. I think obviously these
Yeah,
things are meant for like kids or like teenagers, but you know, anytime you could take your kids or you know, you could just be around that environment because that's in the end, that's what this hobby is all about. You know, we were all that kids at one point going to those stores buying those packs. So it's always cool to kind of see the next generation or seeing the younger ones open up those packs. So as much as you know, people love to make it all about money and businesses and things like that. And believe me, I'm a part of that small little smidgen. It's always fun to you know get around some people who enjoy the same thing as you do and ripping open some packs. So overall, Top Rip Night, I give it a 10 out of 10 just from the overall social media aspect and from the overall my personal experience was a very fun experience and hopefully I think they from what I heard I believe they do these every quarter or every once in a while so I would expect one maybe at the end of the year if not early next year so because we're already in September heading to October
yeah.
so hopefully we can get another one going on our end and yeah maybe make another vlog of that hopefully like we discussed here you unfortunately missed it but can get out there next time so I think that'd be pretty cool. And yeah, so going with
Oh yeah.
that. So speaking on tops, of course, we got some updates here when it comes to tops. We got Tops Baseball Update Series 2 officially being announced here. Now, like I just mentioned, don't have a lot of information as part of that because they unfortunately have not officially announced a checklist. So there's no checklist. I can't go over rookies, who's in there or what the inserts are. Of course, there are a few inserts that they've teased they have a let him cook. I saw some people crapping on that answer. I thought it was kind of.
Hey man,
I thought it was
let
kind of
him
cool.
cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. Uh, so yeah. So I thought I think it's a cool insert. I mean I like Breaking Bad too. So the fact that they have the cook reference Breaking Bad, like, hey, that's pretty cool. And it has Gunnar Henderson on there. So I think it's probably the old timers hating on that insert. But of course, the biggest thing teased here is Paul Skeens. So this is the official flagship product of Paul Skeens on card autos. We do know that for a fact. He is going to be part of this set list. I know there was kind of some people worried that he may be saved off for Series 1 of next year. But nope, he will be an update Chrome, and when that eventually that gets announced. So, and those Paul Skeens, obviously, even though he's a pitcher, is going to be the big chase of this product. Um, Even though we do not got a checklist, we do got some prices. And this is what I always respect about flagship because obviously, you know, we see Bowman Chrome being the price that it is, pristine, the price that it is, Topps Finest being the price that it is, but flagship is pretty reasonable. So for Hobby Box, we got 87.99. You get 12 cards per pack, 20 cards packs per box, and you are guaranteed one autograph or relic. If you want to be bold and want to go buy a hobby case, which is 12 boxes per case, that is going to go for $1,055.99. If you want to skip either or and want to go to the jumbo, you can do that as well. A jumbo is $194.99. That's going to be 40 cards per pack, 10 packs per box, and you are guaranteed one autographed and two relics. And if you want to be bold again and want to jump into the hobby jumbo case, you could do one that you can buy that for $1,169. That's a good number and 90 cents. Now, when I read off, obviously we skip the cases. We do not buy cases. We buy either the hobbies or typically I buy the hobby or the jumbo box. When you see those prices, and obviously we saw Bowman, we see those prices. Did that that dollar amount intrigue you a little bit to maybe to go buy a box?
I mean, yeah, the hobby box for $87. Sign me up. Possibility of maybe. I mean, I know they haven't released a checklist yet, but I would assume Paulskin's auto has to be in there somewhere, or some kind of relic or something. I think I even saw somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, that there may be some All Star Game inserts in there.
Yes.
Um, so I mean, Paulskin started for the NL, so I would imagine there'd be some kind of maybe some kind of relic of the jersey. I would assume they probably took the jersey and top like they ripped that stuff off their back. Um, so yeah, I mean, he's the first one that comes to mind that I would think is going to be sought out. So
Yeah, no, you are correct. They did put out a graphic. Again, I don't. There's not a full checklist, but they do have All Star Game memorabilia. Even though those jerseys were terrible, they do have Aaron Judge on their card with a game used jersey, or I would assume it's game used jersey. I hope it's not one of those stupid things where it's like player worn or things like that. Um, So I would assume it's game used. And yes, there is Paul Skeens autos. The picture that they have is like the 87 design and it's on card in like red ink. So obviously Skeens is going to be the big chase in this set. I can't really think of any other rookie that hasn't debuted in flagship that will be in here. James Wood is being saved for 2025. So that's obviously another player that you want to chase. He's being saved out for 2025. But yeah, obviously Skeens is going to be in here. Usually, I like to buy a series one. I bought a jumbo box just because there was a lot of good rookies to chase in that set. I don't know if I will buy a jumbo for this as far as of yet, just because they have yet announced a full checklist. If there's a lot of good rookies, a lot of good players to chase, then I potentially will go with the jumbo. I did that for series one. Series two, I skipped the jumbo and went to a hobby box. And I actually got lucky. I pulled Corbin Burns game used relic, and then I pulled a Nico Horner silver pack out of 50 auto. So you can get there. You're guaranteed that, but there is obviously that opportunity to pull a little bit more. But yeah, I like the prices. I'm excited for it. Flagship again. This is not the first rookie card for technically for Paul Skeens. He had his Bowman Chrome, and then he had Pristine. But obviously, we value flagship. So once those set lists and those odds and those things get announced, what we know, please feel free to check out the pod. We'll do a full breakdown of the checklist. And obviously on my YouTube channel, I like to do a breakdown of rookies to keep an eye out for. So obviously, Paul Skeens will be on that list and any other rookies that you may want to keep an eye out for moving forward with this checklist. Now, keeping it on with Topps, there was a big acquisition that was made last week, in the middle of last week. Topps is adding to their Infinity Gauntlet. They are adding Disney, Pixar, and Marvel trading card rights starting in 2025. Now, this is courtesy of The Athletic by Brooks Peck. So Topps announced a significant expansion to its deal with Disney Consumer Products on Thursday, so last Thursday, giving the Fanatics-owned company global trading card rights for Disney, Pixar, and Marvel, in addition to its existing Star Wars rights. Most notably, this means Topps will be able to produce and distribute physical Marvel trading cards, one of the biggest non-sports trading card properties in the US, for the first time starting in early 2025 with the release of a Topps Finest X-Men 97 set. Kind of goes over here, and then we got a quote from Paul Gitter, Disney Consumer Products. It says here, "We're thrilled to officially expand our relationship with Topps to bring storytelling from across our brands to card collecting enthusiasts around the world." Has some more quotes here. Then, of course, it talks about Disney Lorcana. So it talks about here Disney 23's entry into the trading card game TCG space. Lorcana, which is produced by Ravensburg, has quickly proven popular, and more traditional Disney trading cards produced overseas have also increasingly been in demand around the world. and it talks about Marvel and what they've done here on their end. And of course, just to kind of give off of what Tops and Fanatics already own. So obviously they have the MLB license, but Fox and or I'm sorry, Fanatics also has exclusive trading rights here for Premier League, MLS, UFC, Formula One, and more. It will have, it says here, it will have exclusive NBA trading card rights starting next year, plus the NFL and WWE rights starting in 2026. So we're pushing that there. The addition to Disney, Pixar, Marvel to mix creates potential for cross pollination between sports and non-sports um, entities. Now, when you see that, when you hear Tops is, and you put out the great tweet that I stole your thunder there a little bit of the great tweet with Tops and Thanos adding to his gauntlet there. When you read that Tops has acquired Disney, when you read that right off the bat, what do you think of, right? Or what's going through your mind as they create or get another major license under their gauntlet there?
Oh man, I mean, I think you can automatically just think of the product that they're probably going to put out. I mean, Topps puts out nice stuff. They also put out expensive stuff. So, I mean, I don't know what they would do for like a relic card. Let's say, for example, I don't know what they could pull for that, but I mean, I'm sure for autos, I don't know what they can do, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna do some pretty cool stuff. But it's pretty crazy to think about. I mean, if you really think the only thing they don't have, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the NFL, which is by Panini, and the NHL, which is with Upper Deck. So, I mean, those are really, I think, the only two sports that are left for them to fully take over. And I don't know what the license look like for the NFL and the NHL, but I mean, I would assume Tops is looking into that or has their eye on that too. That they eventually just want to take over the whole trading card. And I don't know if necessarily that's good for the hobby itself. It may be basically it's like a damn monopoly, but I mean, yeah, like I can't buy the unlicensed stuff does not appeal to me. Like it doesn't. There's some cards that do look good and might you can get away with it, but there's just some that I'm just like I can't. Like the Topps Chrome for basketball. Like I just can't put. I just can't. I can't buy it. It just looks weird. I don't think the cards look good. From my personal opinion, and I mean I am a basketball fan. I'm a Spurs fan, and I don't follow ball too much to even like know who's good rookie wise or what I'm looking for. I mean, I know some of the legends, obviously, but I'm not gonna pay $45 for like a retail blaster for the potential to buy, or to get a Wembyama. I just go to my local, and that's one thing I was like after at the card shows is um was just I just want a basic Wemby rookie card, which I finally got, and I got it for $10. You can't beat that. You know,
Yeah,
and it's for me.
yeah. Shout out for you for finally getting that. You've been talking about getting a
But
Wemby based rookie for a while, and you finally pulled the trigger on one. So, um, yeah, happy you finally have that. And yeah, like the
and
article.
even the guy I bought it from, I was like, hey man, I was like, you have any Wemby rookie cards? And he's like, oh yeah. He's on. He just literally had a list of them, and I think I ended up going with like the deep space one. So it looks pretty cool. I think eventually I do want to get it graded to SGC because I think the black would look pretty good on it.
Yeah,
And it's just for me. I'm not trying to make. I ain't trying to pay my mortgage with this damn card. Like, let's say, So
so yeah, in the article there, they kind of hinted it there a little bit. Is that that Tops will have the exclusive NBA trading rights, trading card rights starting next year, so sometime in 2025, plus the NFL and WWE rights starting in 2026. So we would expect them to
oh,
have
so they are getting the NFL.
that, yeah, because they do have an NFL product.
Oh,
I'm not NFL football. My brain just screams baseball, and that's it. So I can't tell you what's out. I do know they have released NFL product. I don't know what it's called, or what's even in there. I cannot tell you that, but they have released
damn, I didn't
recently
know that.
um, a product. But again, I can't really tell you what's in there or what they're promoting or anything. I know obviously like some of the quarterbacks, CJ Stroud, things like that. But yeah, I can't really speak into that just because I don't know that sport and or that market. Um, but yeah, you kind of nailed it right in the head. The thing that worries me about this is overall the monopoly of it. Just because now it's all powered through Tops, and I think what makes the hobby interesting and what makes the hobby I on your toes and keeps competition alive and brands alive is the appeal to go out and get other brands. I tried getting Panini Don Russ stuff. Some of it looks good, some of it looks bad. But unfortunately they don't have the license. But it kind of creates that thing now where if everything's all under tops and fanatics, we as consumers, like we can't go out and get something else. Like we have to go through them. And obviously that brings more money to fanatics, Michael Rubin. Maybe they can finally make some better MLB jerseys so players are not sweating or ripping their pants. But um yeah, I just think it's cool that they're getting Disney and Marvel. Like obviously we're fans of that too. If you guys don't know that about us, we're obviously fans of that. So I think it's very cool that there is going to be a Topps Chrome card of Mickey Mouse. I believe those are already out there too. I believe they were only released in the UK though. A Mickey Mouse
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Mickey Mouse card. Everybody that people that don't know me, I'm a Steamboat Willie fan, a Steamboat and Oswald fan. I could pull a Topps Chrome of those cards like that. That's cool. Um,
Hey, you know what? No pun intended, but I'm gonna be acting a little goofy when that Goofy Chrome comes out.
I know you're gonna be hunting for that one Goofy card, and yeah, I mean, like if and I'm not trying to go off on a tangent here or not off to on a different realm, but like Disney fans are crazy. Like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, like that's its own brand. So and I've been to Disney many times. Me and my fiance go when we can. Um, and that's its own realm. So like people go for I know you kind of mentioned it there a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit further, like kind of like what they could do, like a relic card. Like I don't think you're gonna be turned off the costume of Goofy, but those signature cards, people go crazy for those signature books. My fiance, when we went in last year, like we got Winnie the Pooh to sign her book. Like people go crazy for that. So like a sticker auto of like a Winnie the Pooh, a Buzz Lightyear, Joy, Steamboat Willie, and those are just to name a few. Moana, Maui. Like people are going to go absolute crazy for that. And to even take that a step further, you take your kid to your Target and local retail store, they see a Tops with those characters on it. Like your daughter's gonna be wanting to be ripping open packs. She already does. She knows those characters more than a Pokemon and obviously sports athletes. So what's gonna stop them from not wanting those cards? So I think in the end, it's very
I mean,
cool that they have that. They have this under their affinity gauntlet. It's going to be interesting to see what they put out. I definitely will be buying a box or two. I don't know about a hobby box, whatever they decide to announce when they come out. But yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see. I don't know how this affects Lorcana. I know they mentioned in the article with Ravensburg. I don't know how it affects that. I know
yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
because obviously
It's gonna be interesting how they do it.
yeah we've dove deep into Lorcana, kind of gotten out of it a little bit, but
We are Lumineers, my friend.
Lumineers, there you go. We quest, we're questing like every weekend. Fortunately, I slowed down. We got to get back on that, by the way. Um,
Yeah, we're like 2 sets behind, my dog.
yeah, uh, my fiance, I don't know if eventually I'm going to drop name her because obviously we know her. I don't know if I'm eventually going to drop her name, but she sent me a an old Disney
You know
D23.
what we gotta drop her Instagram page, her other page. I don't know if you want to name it, but like we can use that as a code name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Mm.
Yeah,
I gotta run that by her.
that'll be up for discussion.
Yeah, I gotta run that by her
Yeah,
by the end of the episode. But
but I mean, if I think too, just real quick on Lorcana, but like I don't if they do take that over, would that be the first like TCG game for Tops or Fanatics? It would be, right?
I believe so. I don't I can't think I could be wrong, but I can't think of anything off of that they done for TCGs. Like obviously the only ones that come to my head
I don't think they have any.
like One Piece its own
It'd
thing.
be so weird. It'd be so weird for them to be in that spot. But I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it definitely will be
But I was
interesting.
thinking too when you were talking about relics again, and you mentioned Maui. I was like, man, can you imagine a dual auto of Maui and the final boss, The Rock, on the same card,
I wonder does he sign
a
that same
one of one?
does he sign that same card? Like is it physically him?
Yeah, I mean he would. Yeah. He's the voice of Maui, and he's gonna be the live action
and the
Maui.
live action Maui.
So it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be ah, that'd be a great card.
that would be pretty cool to see.
Be great.
Yeah, that dude was whipping Cody Rhodes, and then next
Um,
day was doing a Maui dance on a D23 Expo. So I always thought that was hilarious.
too. Yeah. Um, but yeah, just really quickly, I just wanted to get shout out to Topps though real quick. They put Yamamoto and Imanga on the cover, so they have two Japanese players. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
Yeah, I obviously failed to mention that, but yeah,
shout out to them.
that was a very cool cover. I tip my cap to them whenever I can because obviously they have their flaws every once in a while, but yeah, that was a very cool cover. So yeah, good call out on that. But yeah,
So I bet you they, I'd be, that'd be, I bet you, I'm assuming they would probably have like a nice little a dual
dual
auto.
auto.
Oh man, can you imagine if they had a triple and throw in Otani on there too?
Oh,
Good lord.
oh man, yeah, that's oof.
That sounds like this sounds like a higher end Topps product, not for a flagship, but I'm pretty sure.
And it'll probably be pulled by a breaker.
Probably.
Yeah, good
Bastards.
looking at your hobby store. But yeah, shout out, good call out on that. When I saw that art cover, I shared it instantly on my Instagram because yeah, I thought that was a very sick uh cover. They could have also gone the easy route and gone to Paul Skeens, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, shout out to Topps. Tip my cap out to them. Another gem in their gauntlet. It's going to be interesting to see what they do for the remainder of this year, and moving forward. Now, like I've mentioned with this pod, you get card talk, and obviously we get ball talk. Let's transition a little bit to a little bit of ball talk here. Had a very interesting article coming out and report coming out last week. Derek Bender from the Minnesota Twins. Obviously, if you guys are into baseball and know about it, maybe you may or may not have already heard about this, but Derek Bender, again, this is courtesy here of The Athletic. Minnesota Twins released minor league catcher for intentionally tipping pitches. I had to read that like 3 times to when I first saw the report, I had to make sure I was reading that like 3 times. Like tipping, like was the pitcher tipping his pitches or like was like how does that work? So I had to read it. So again, courtesy of the article Tobias Bass and Aaron Gleeman. Minnesota Twins minor league catcher Derek Bender was released by the team last Thursday, for intentionally tipping pitches to opposing batters in a game that led to his low A affiliate being I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Being eliminated from playoff contention, the team source confirmed. The 21-year-old Bender played for the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, or Musos, I already say that, revealed to Lakeland Flying
What a team
Tigers
name.
hitters what pitches starter Ross Dunn was about to throw. ESPN reported that Bender had told his teammates that he wanted the season to be over. Lakeland capitalized, scoring 4 runs in a second inning and winning 6-0, clinching the Florida State League West Division title and eliminating the Mighty Musos, who had a 6-game lead through weeks before. Bender was drafted this past year in 2024 in the 6th round, pick number 188. After being ranked a consensus top 100 draft prospect, he signed for a slightly below slot bonus for $297,500. What he was doing there in low A in his 19-game professional debut, he was hitting only just 273 with a 333 OPS, with a slug, with 2 homers and a poor 20-5 strikeout to walk ratio, which maybe is why he wanted to go home. And it says here he would have likely have started back in Fort Myers or at high A going into next year. Now, obviously, when you see that article and you read that, like, how did you respond to that article? Again, I had to read it like 3 times to make sure I was reading that correctly.
Oh God, when I saw it, I was like you. I was like, what? What the heck does he do? What did he do? And so, I mean, this schmuck, dude. Like, I guess I don't. I honestly, I don't even know. Like, this dude's crazy. Like, he should have. Kind of the way I made it seem like maybe he just doesn't want to play baseball. Maybe he just maybe thought, hey, the same for me, and I just want to go home. And so he's like, fuck it, let's start giving away the sides. Um, But yeah, it's crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this. It kind of reminded me of um Space Jam
When
with
the guy signed
the
Michael
pitching
Jordan.
from Michael don't swing. If I told you not to swing, I can't help it.
Nice talking to you.
But yeah, it's talking to you. Um, yeah, this dude, I think he's pretty much done. I don't think anybody's gonna take a shot at him. Like I said, he was just drafted this year, round six, 188th pick. His career stats in the minor leagues: batting 200, OPS is 606. It's like, yeah, he's probably gonna have to go do some. I think I've heard different podcasts and stories that he's probably gonna have to do like independent ball if he ever wants to try to come back and kind of prove himself out there. Um, but yeah, I don't think he'll be back.
The counteract to that guy, I did hear that being thrown
That's,
around on like online and stuff is like as a team and just from like a team standpoint, like from a front office standpoint, like why would you even weigh that option? Like I can go sign another minor league catcher if I want to that I know does not have this baggage and or go sign someone in Dominican League or whatever the case may be, or go pick up a minor league catcher or maybe a veteran catcher. If, I don't think a veteran catchers want to go down a single A, but you can pick up another catcher down there and instantly stop them down to single A. Because I even read a report too that it wasn't in this one, but I think they threw his ass to the bullpen and he was sitting out there with like,
yeah, he was still there.
which is very
Yeah,
awkward because like you're
that is
you're
weird. Yeah,
tipping your pitches, you're letting the hitters know, and yet you're gonna go sit with your teammates. Like if I'm those pitchers, like I want to kick his ass. Like you're literally just ruined that. I don't know his for done whatever his name was. Like that's on your stat line. And it's like how are you gonna go around that? And yeah, so I was saying
yeah,
that
that
thrown
guy's
around.
numbers might be inflated too. Yeah,
Yeah, so like I was reading that and I was like, I don't think this guy, in my opinion, I don't think he sees another day of light behind the plate or anywhere, in my personal opinion. Um, and I also saw this kind of being thrown around too. Was like, well, it's just minor league baseball. Like, who cares? Like, minor league baseball is is excuse my French, it's fucking fun. Like, people that don't know, I was a part of that environment. I in high school and college, I was a groundskeeper for the San Antonio Missions, and I was happily involved around two teams that were in the postseason and played for the Texas championship. And those guys take it serious. Like those guys are competing day in day out. It's a grind. It's a struggle. So anytime you get to go in the clubhouse with the boys and you're chugging beers, you're popping beers, you just won a championship. People take that serious. I saw some people think, oh, it's just minor league ball. Who cares? Minor league baseball is a different realm. It's fucking fun. Those guys grind day in day out. And I think maybe that was his thing too. Like maybe he realized that the minor league life is not for him because it's not all sunshine and rainbows down there. You're riding the bus. Clubhouses are shitty. Dugouts are shitty. The environment, depending on where you're at, is crap. Um, so maybe that it just wasn't for him, and he realized that like, hey, this ain't for me anymore. Obviously, I think there's a better way to go about it. So obviously, he could have just told
yeah,
his management and team like, hey, like I don't want to be here anymore, or like maybe I think I saw people mention it too, like maybe he just needed a mental reset. I think in this day and age too, like teams and we as people, we take that very seriously. So if he needed a mental reset, like obviously he was struggling, so if he needed a mental reset, I think it would have just been as simple as, hey, I need a day off. I need to go home, whatever the case may be, not telling the opposing batter, hey, fastball's coming right down the plate, get ready for it. And if I'm the opposing team, I'm telling them thanks. I'm buying him dinner after, buying him a beer after. But uh yeah, that was a rough story.
yeah. I was trying to see where he. I was looking at it right now. I was like, well, maybe because I mean, obviously, minor league baseball is all over the place. So I was like, maybe he's not too fond of the location. But if I'm not mistaken, it's in Fort Myers, right, in Florida,
Yeah, I think he was playing in
right? Because it says the Fort Myers Mighty Mussels.
yeah,
So I'm assuming that's down in
Florida.
Florida,
Yeah.
which makes sense because don't the Red Sox always play the Twins in the Grapefruit
Yeah.
League, right? A lot. I think they both are in Fort Myers, so that makes sense. So he's literally just there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think like you said, the minor league grind is crazy for some of these guys because you have your your Paul Skeens and your Dylan Cruz that are just skipping levels, And like I can think about it too. Like when Benny came here, he went to Double A and completely skipped Triple A and came into the majors. So for some guys, it just clicks down there, and it kind of like forces the hand of the team. So if you're down in Single A, you're struggling. Fresh out of college, I'm assuming he was,
Yeah, he was coming from
and you're not too sure. This is
where was he at? He was drafted from
Coastal
Coastal
Carolina.
Carolina. He's
Yeah, Coastal Carolina.
21. Yeah, so he obviously was coming out of college.
Yeah, so he's coming out of college. I mean, maybe it's not for him, and and it had it not been for him. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a better way to go about this. I don't think that was the way to go about it. I think is the part of the story, but yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to see where
I don't know.
I
It'd be
was.
interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, I was trying to see where he was from. Maybe this plays a part of it too. Looks like he's from South Carolina, and he was playing. He was playing at. Let me go back here really quick. Uh,
And it says he was born in New York, so I don't know if that had anything to do. Like,
yeah,
I don't
because
know
it
if
says
he moved to
here
Carolina or he just went to college over
he's
there.
playing at Coastal Carolina. Based on from what I'm just seeing here on his Coastal Carolina athletic page, hometown is Merle's Inlet, South Carolina. So obviously, maybe that obviously, like we've kind of hinted here, played a little bit of a factor being away from home. Um, Maybe that did something here for him, but obviously a guy that could have done something a little bit better. So if he gets another opportunity, good for him. Hopefully he can prove that he made a mistake. I mean, he is young, 21 years old. People who are that age obviously make mistakes. Maybe not to the magnitude, but maybe if he does get another opportunity, maybe he can prove himself that he obviously made a big mistake, and maybe he did have some issues that we just don't know about. So, but from what we know so far, obviously made a very big mistake and very bush league mistake. So yeah, Derek Bender gets a fat L on this one. Now, someone who has taken multiple fat L's from the same person, Gerrit Cole. He had a little classic little episode there, a little bit of a four uh, thing there. If you guys again happen over the weekend, hopefully this episode is out on Friday, so a little bit late, but again, this involves our team, the Boston Red Sox, and Gerrit Cole. Now, I didn't see this live. Did you see it live? Because I was obviously doing the card show and Rip Night. Were you watching that game live?
I saw some of it live.
Okay, because yeah,
I had a
because
screaming toddler.
relatable. Not relatable. I was screaming cat, but know where you come from with that.
But I did watch some of the game. I did not see this at bat though. That's the
You
only
didn't see
thing.
the four.
Yeah, I did not see it. No.
Okay, because
No.
I was obviously going through Twitter that I saw the four, and then obviously a couple of bats later he hit I believe it was like clearing bases loaded clearing double, if I'm not mistaken, or I know he brought in 2 or 3 runs,
Yeah,
brought
I
in,
think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
so couldn't escape him there. But I did not know previously before that he had hit him. I didn't know about that, and
Yeah, he that yeah, that he hit him. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know about that.
That I saw.
I see. Yeah, see, I didn't know about that. I saw the four, and then I saw him clearing the bases there with the double. And then obviously a week before, or I believe a couple of days before, just got the alert the Yankees just punched their playoff ticket, bastards. Um, so obviously the day before or a couple of days before, it's Latin History Month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they're talking about they
Yeah.
asked him who is a Latin hitter that terrorizes you or whatever does good again. And right off the bat, said Rafael Devers. So the fact that this happened a couple of days later was very, very shocking to me. Now, I guess I'll lead off with the first question before we dive deep into Gerrit Cole and his status and what this does for him and his image and reputation and Yankees, blah, blah, blah. And obviously there's some Red Sox stuff as well. But the hit by pitch, because I know this is kind of going back and forth because he hit him with the cutter. It was 91 miles per hour. He missed with the first pitch. Do you think it was intentional that he hit him?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Really?
That'd be making it way too obvious. He has no what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't gain nothing out of it, really, and he really didn't gain nothing out of walking him. Um, so I pulled up his numbers, like the career stats. So like Devers has 46 at bats against him, and he is batting 350 with an OPS of 1.410. So he does own him. Like he does have a lot of success. But Gerrit Cole also stricken him out 15 times. So it's like about a 32% strikeout rate. So it's legit either he's getting on base by a hit or he's striking out. So it's pretty crazy. So I think the thing that makes it look worse, I think it's the way his body language, the way he was just kind of like, I don't want to deal with this, get out of here. I think that's what makes it look worse. But I think he had nothing to gain from hitting him. I think he was just trying to go inside, which I think a lot of people like to go inside into Devers because he tends to struggle with, I think, with the high inside fastball. So I think that's maybe what they were trying to do. Um, but I think I honestly think Cora was probably just trying to fire up the guys. Honestly, that's what I think was he was trying to do.
Yeah, and then we had the quotes there.
I worked that game,
Yeah, and then we had the quotes there from Cora
but it didn't work for the series.
coming after that he thought he hit him intentionally, and then they a couple days, or I think the next day, they admitted that they tried to hit Aaron Judge with Brian Bale. He missed. That was our opportunity, and that
Yeah,
was it.
which is wild. Can't believe they actually admitted that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, they got investigated, but nothing came
I
out
think
of
it
it.
makes it worse too that they don't hit it. Yeah,
Um,
just let the boys play.
And then, of course, we had Devers had the translation. Obviously, we've seen some reports, and obviously from Section 10, that the translation was not exactly what he said, because basically paraphrasing what Devers said was that, oh, that's a Hall of Famer, but he showed weakness. I think that's basically what he said. And kind of Brian Bale kind of echoed the same thing, like, oh, like that made him look weak, uh, and things like that.
Yeah,
Me personally, and I guess it's kind of like our first like back and forth. I personally think he hit him on purpose. I think if you hit him with the first one, like a 95 to the back, to me that's intentional. Like that's like completely obvious. Like if he would have done that, like yeah, like what the hell are you doing? Um, Missed with the first one. I think he got strike one. Did he not get strike one? I don't know, but he threw a first pitch.
I can't
He
remember.
may have gotten strike one, if not ball one, and then hit him with the 91. I just think what makes it like I think he did do it on purpose is that just the comments that he had before, and I think him doing the four thing, like get your ass over there, like I don't want to deal with you. I think that was that pitch there. Like obviously you're not gonna walk a hitter um the first time after you're up 1-0 or 0-1, but the second time that's it, I'm done. But I think what makes it worse too in that kind of situation is that they were, well, it was like what, bottom of the fourth, top of the fourth. Oh, excuse me. And the Yankees were winning 1-0. So I think that made the situation even a little bit worse.
Yeah, that's another reason too. I think honestly, I think it's like it may be like a mental thing at this point, like because I'm sure he has to see all the stuff that people say when it comes to Rafael Devers about him. And especially in the interview, how quickly he answered it. It didn't even let the guy finish the question. He's just like Rafael Devers, like right off the back. Then you have to think about it. And I think that's probably why. Like, I also don't think he had intention to hit him, is because he comes up and he's like, all right, I gotta get this guy out, and then he freaking beams him, like, And then the next time he comes up, he's like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. Just get out of here. And I also think it makes it look worse because I think that he said that was the plan that they had. But I think when they asked the catcher, which I don't know who, if it was Austin Wells who was catching,
I
um,
don't remember.
he said that he had no idea about that was the plan, and so he had no idea. So
And I think, yeah, and I think
some
Aaron, yeah,
miscommunication
yeah,
there.
Aaron Boone already admitted to that too, that they didn't talk about that, or they wouldn't have gone about that, because I think typically that call comes from the manager, or like that's a part of, like you mentioned, of the game plan. So if he's just doing that
Yeah.
himself and not Aaron Boone, definitely makes it a little bit worse.
Sorry, you like cut out a little bit
Did I
there
cut
at
out?
this last part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have some editing to do on this one, boy.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of editing to do. And the thing I record on a Wednesday, not a Friday or Thursday night. But yeah, kind of like kind of piggyback what you said there. Doing the four, usually that comes from the manager and or the higher ups who are making that call. So again, the fact that he did it himself, um, makes it a little bit worse. And just to throw out a little bit more, I know you have the career numbers with Devers against them. Again, maybe it is a mental thing, maybe it is just a Sox thing because against the Boston Red Sox, he's 7-6 with a 5.23 ERA. So not the best of numbers. He has 2 playoff starts against us. I say us in plural because again, we are Red Sox fans. He's 0-2 with a 7.88 ERA. And then this year alone, not having the best of year, obviously dealing with a little bit of an injury, but 6-5 with 3.97 ERA. So yeah, maybe there is a little bit of a mental thing with him, but yeah, overall in the end, I just think this makes him look weak. That's not the Cy Young that I remember. What he was doing. What was he doing in Houston? What was his 16? What was his record? 20 and
Dude, he's like a
5.
completely different guy from Houston, man.
20 and 5 in 2019 with a 2.5 ERA, 326 strikeouts. The year before that, 15 and 5 with a 2.88 ERA. I just think that image of that person, I remember we would obviously as Red Sox fan, he was coming through that 18, 19. We would see that he was pitching. I'm like, oh fuck, it's Gerrit Cole. Like now I see Gerrit Cole and I know I'm not shaking in my boots anymore. I'm like, oh, it's Gerrit Cole. Like, all right, we can do it. Asked me that 5 years ago. I'm like, oh
Yep.
fuck, it's Gerrit Cole. Like this
He's,
dude's gonna fucking turn it sideways against us. But yeah, I just think this further
I,
proves it.
I think he just he lost all that aura when he shaved his beard, dude. Honestly, shaved his beard, got rid of his long hair. He was never the same man.
Yeah, and I think too with him is the I think the whole sticky stuff thing didn't help him either. Like he was pleading and
Yeah, that too.
like
Yeah.
he was basically pleading for MLB to listen to him and listen to us. I think that didn't help out either because obviously I
I mean, jeez, man.
what is it for Pete's sake.
For
So
Pete's sake, man.
so yeah, obviously he had I don't think that helped him out a little bit. So when you tack on this, the issue that he had against the Red Sox, and then now this little um sticky stuff, I just think overall the image of him is gone. I do not fear Gerrit Cole from the opposing side, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes out moving forward, like in the postseason, things like that. I think there's definitely a lot of more mojo on the other side when you see Gerrit. Obviously, like I just mentioned, Gerrit, the Yankees just clinching a playoff spot. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes and plays out move. I'm not saying this is going to affect him completely, but obviously on his side, didn't handle it well. And you kind of hinted there a little bit too, a core of trying to fire up the boys, but maybe didn't work out so well.
Did not work. Maybe next year.
Okay, still a mathematical chance. We're like I think 2% now, probably gain 80% with tonight's win.
Did
Hey,
the Twins win?
no,
Actually, I'm tired of even saying this. The Twins. We got to catch the fucking Tigers and the.
No, I think the Twins lost today. I think we're 4 games out. Um, quick little check here. Per
Let me check.
MLB.com,
Yeah, 4.
4 games out. Tigers are half a game out.
Dude, Detroit's half a game out, dude. Well, Seattle lost too, so that helps.
And we got a 3 game set with the Twins. When's that set coming up?
With the Twins coming up.
Next week, I think.
I think it's coming up.
Oh, tomorrow,
Yeah,
this
on
weekend.
Monday, I think.
Ooh,
Oh shit.
well, that's it
Okay.
right there. That's make or break, literally.
And then this weekend, the Tigers are going to Baltimore.
Oh, and they've been scuffling too.
Well, they just swept the Royals.
Baltimore?
No, Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been scuffling.
No, I'm saying like after they just swept the Royals and now they're gonna go to Baltimore
Oh, I see.
because we got to catch them and we got to catch the Twins.
Mm. So you're saying there's a
And Seattle
chance?
lost too, so I'm honestly not worried about Seattle.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about them. But yeah, playoff talk that obviously will come. Heck, next week or sometime next week and the following week when kind of getting that to a little bit. We'll obviously get into that a little bit closer when we get there. But yeah, once postseason does come, do expect maybe 2 episodes a week. I know we kind of briefly touched upon it here. We will do a playoff prediction video or a playoff prediction pod. And then whenever the games are happening live, or when something crazy happens in the postseason, obviously we will do a podcast on that. And when the playoffs happen, typically the card market kind of goes a little bit crazy. We saw a little bit with Corey Seager. Corey Seager went on a little bit of a tear last year, and his cards slowly started to go up. So I think that's going to be pretty cool to monitor with these teams. If it's maybe not a lower, obviously not a superstar like Judge Soda, but maybe a guy that's has peaked off a little bit and it's now can increase, like Corbin Carroll. See what he does. Maybe some of those Baltimore guys, maybe somebody from Detroit Tigers. If they make it, something for the Twins. So since we kind of were hinting on the playoffs there a little bit, definitely will get that going once that does come around. Now, someone who definitely will be in the postseason and is on the verge of doing something remarkable. We've talked about him, I think, basically almost every episode. I think Shohei Ohtani. We have some news from Ohtani. Obviously, the 50-50 watch is still in play. I believe now he's officially 48-49, too shy of the home runs, but he's now a
Yeah.
stolen base away from 50-50. So once that comes out, obviously we're gonna talk about that here. But of course, the big news with Otani is pitching. That is not out of the question for the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers have had a lot of issues when it comes to starting pitching. Obviously, Glass now is out for the rest of the year. He's now been transitioned to the 60-day DL. Bobby Miller is no longer who the young, exciting prospect anymore. He's struggled a lot since coming back. Clayton Kershaw's obviously they're dealing with his injuries. So it's pretty interesting that this report is coming out, again, courtesy of The Athletic. Um, Dodgers Shohei Ohtani not ruled out to pitch in the postseason, Dave Roberts says. They're not zero. It goes on here. It says the door might not be completely shut on the idea of Shohei Ohtani throwing a pitch this season after all, though the odds of that door cracking or creaking open still remain slim. The Dodgers and Ohtani had ruled out any possibility of the two-way superstar pitching in games at any point in 2024 after undergoing a hybrid Tommy John and internal brace procedure. Dude, I saw that scar. Then that scar is huge. It's a really big scar.
Really?
Yeah, I'll probably send you a picture once the pod ends. But yeah, dude, it's freaking huge. Like it's literally like here to like
Mm.
here. It's big. I don't know how that internal procedure works, but yeah, it does not look. It just looks big. Um, and kind of some more quotes here. It says here, there's something that's long term play, Robert said on Friday. We still got a lot to work to get to October and through October. Kind of goes off on a tangent there because Otani did throw a bullpen session on August 24th. And then I don't think he's faced any type of simulated hitters or anything like that. And kind of goes off of everything there. Obviously, they did get Yamamoto back, so that definitely does help the rotation. But I think in the postseason, a Yamamoto and Otani 1-2 or 2-3, however you want to pick that out, that will be pretty cool. But the question that I wanted to raise that if you're the Dodgers and obviously Otani's having the historical year 50-50, I would be a betting man that I'm pretty sure he is going to do it. Um, but if you're the Dodgers and obviously you're playing long term because this is not a short term investment, you're 10 years, you're 1 year into this 10-year deal. Um, are you putting the stress on Otani and throwing him out there in a postseason game, even if it's starting or maybe even coming out of the bullpen?
Yeah, I don't think there's no way he's pitching. It's just, yeah, I don't think so. Like I even saw, I think you pretty much touched on it, but I saw an article on ESPN, where pretty much Dave Roberts said like the chances are slim, but not zero. And I think they even asked Otani, and he kind of just smiled and he said, "I'm not sure." And then Dave Roberts even said that Otani has been intermittently throwing bullpen sessions and could face hitters soon. But I mean, this guy, he's got to ramp up, dude. And I don't think there's enough time for him to ramp up and to be ready. I mean, if you really wanna like push it, like I would think like maybe the NLCS or the World Series maybe, but there's no way we're seeing him in the first 2 rounds. And that's even if the Dodgers get past the first 2 rounds, you know? The Padres are clicking on their back too. I think they're like 3 games out or something.
Yeah, the
So
Padres are cooking,
um
man. The Padres, that's like I don't think they get a lot of love as far as of what they're doing and what they've done this year. But yeah, the Padres, I definitely are knocking on that door. But yeah, to go back to the original question with Otani, I personally don't see that either. I thought again, very interesting that they're even weighing out that option and potentially saying like, hey, it's not zero. They're saying there's a chance. But I just think with, like we just discussed here, that it's an investment with Otani. It's not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year type thing. Maybe if you're in a 1 year or you're in your second year of a 3 year deal, maybe you're kind of pushing it like, hey, we need to take advantage of this. Our window is short. We need to get you on the mound to help us win. Um, but obviously, their window is much larger than any other average team. Would it be cool to see Otani on the mound? For sure. Is it great for baseball? For sure. Is it good for the hobby? 100%. But I think from a team standpoint, from a baseball standpoint, from a health standpoint, I just don't see that weighing out. And you got to think about it too. Postseason, that's a lot of stress. What's worse for a pitcher? Stress on the arm. You're asking a player who hasn't thrown a ball all year to come back, put more stress, and not the first time, the second time from a second procedure like this. So in the end, I don't think this is something that if I'm the Dodgers and I'm Dave Roberts and I'm if I'm upper management, as much as he might want to, because the dude is a gamer. There's no denying that. I'm not putting all my chips into one bag here and hoping that he can go out. I think that you got to figure something out with Yamamoto and whoever that you may have in that rotation, the bullpen, to find a way to muster through that playoff spot in the playoff series.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Like I said, if it does, I would think it'd probably be the World Series because you're looking at late October. But even at that, we're already, that's like a month away. There's no way.
Yeah, because the way that the rotation plays out right
No
now,
way.
you have Walker Bueller, Jake Flaherty. You did have Yamamoto. You did have Bobby Miller. They did just option him off this year after another rough start. So he's no longer in the picture. You got Brent Honeywell. I mean, technically, you can't start Michael Kopech if you want to go that route. If you want to, he just had an electric coming out of the playoffs. Shout out to Michael Kopech, former Sox top prospect. Um, but yeah, if there's one thing about the Dodgers is definitely their pitching, and I think that's definitely going to be the weak point in their run of the postseason, and definitely something we'll dive deep into once that talk comes. But yeah, I don't think Otani is seeing the mound anytime soon, and if he does, I will be very very shocked about that. And then again, 50-50 on the rise. Hopefully he does it soon. Maybe it raises a little bit of excitement. Does it last game of the season, something like that? I think that'd be kind of cool. Um, and again, we'll be the only player to do that 50-50. And probably once he does it, keep out for the Tops Now card, as that will probably be launching on their site.
Oh yeah.
So they'll have the bases, they'll have the baseball, whoever gets says that baseball if they get one, if it's out of the park or not to the bullpen uh, for that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I want to make a little bit of a note of that because yeah, Otani keeps doing his thing, and I think now too with the Lindor injury, he's out for a couple of games. I think that's basically the stamp of approval, I would assume. I know we had that conversation a couple of was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It was the last episode, right? With the Lindor.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Um, oh
It was
yeah,
2 weeks
2 weeks
ago.
ago. Yeah, last week was Judge and Witt. I think this now Will Lindor being out kind of puts the final stamp on Otani being the MVP. So you might want to get your top Chrome cards if you have them or if have not, go get them for MVP buyback.
Buyback.
But yep, yeah, that's all the topics here. That we had on our end. Again, a lot of not very number based. Obviously, we dove a little bit into the numbers there. But kind of want to bring a little bit something different. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the first full screen episode. No little split screen or small little screen there because we have no screen share. So, yeah, I just wanted to have this episode just be a normal conversation, talk some cards, talk some tops, talk some ball, and was a very loaded episode without the numbers. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Now, before we start wrapping things up here, Bropio, any final things you have on your mind, final thoughts on your end that you would like to throw out here for the good listeners?
Yeah. We got a card show coming up this weekend. Hopefully we can. I don't know yet for sure on my end, but um, got a sick little toddler now. Uh, so we'll see how that goes. So we got a card show coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Saturday and Sunday, yes.
Okay, cool. So we'll see what happens there. See if we can pick up some other cards. See what we got going on. We did get our SGC cards in on Monday. So I got some potential trade chips maybe. Um, Yeah, they are. There they are. So yeah, we got that going on. So just really quickly, yeah, I know we mentioned the Yankees clinched. The Brewers also actually clinched the NL Central as well. Since Chicago lost. And just like really quickly looking through this, is that they were projected to only win 79 games, and they also traded away Corbin Burns. So for them to actually clinch the division is pretty crazy. Um, and then the one last thing, former Red Sox Orioles designated Kate Krimble for assignment. He is gone. The Orioles had signed him this past offseason for 1 year, 12 mil, with an option for next year for 13 mil or $1 million buyout. So he's obviously probably going to get bought out. He went 7-5 with a 5.33 ERA with 23 saves in 57 games. Of course, he was a closer, but he struggled in the second half with an ERA of 10.59 in 18 games. Um, so he is gone. So
Yeah, not pretty for him.
Oriole fans felt the pain.
Not pretty.
Yeah,
I guess a cool.
I'm pretty sure he'll catch on, but I think he's gonna pop. It's probably gonna be a minor league deal. I'm afraid. I'm pretty sure.
So before I give my final thoughts, since you kind of hit on it really quick, I guess this is another a topic for next week. I think we would. Yeah, I think this declares like a full segment. But right off the top of your head, Craig Kimbrell Hall of Famer.
Yes,
Oh, interesting. All right.
him and Jansen, him and Kenley got to be in.
All right. I'm putting
And
that.
put Billy Wagner in there too. Stop disrespecting Billy Wagner.
If nothing crazy happens in the baseball world next week, that's definitely going to be a segment because I think that obviously is one of the big things with closures and Kimbrel. Because just looking at it right now, you kind of held it 7-5, 5.33 ERA, negative was a negative 1.1 WAR. Overall career though for Craig Kimbrel, 22.3 WAR, 2.59 ERA with a career 440 saves. The dude was absolutely electric in Atlanta, 2013, 50 saves with the ERA of 1.21. The year before that, a ERA almost below 1 was at 1.0 run. Even with the Boston Red Sox, 2016 kind of struggled a little bit, but during the 2017-2018 run, 2017 1.43 ERA with 35 saves. 2018, of course, the year the Boston Red Sox hoist the World Series championship over their head, 42 saves with the ERA of 2.74. So obviously it was a big part of those teams, but I think that definitely would be an interesting conversation about Kate Kimbrell being a Hall of Famer. I know that kind of goes back and forth. Some people say yes, some people say no. But yeah, like I was mentioning, Craig Kimbrell, that's definitely going to be a segment for potentially next week. I think that would be pretty interesting to see your opinion on that. I'm not going to give my opinion because I have not dove deep off the top of my head. But yeah, Kate Kimbrell, DFA. Hopefully, he finds somewhere. Can prove those haters wrong, those Hall of Fame doubters wrong. Yeah, some final thoughts here on my end. We kind of talked about him a little bit a couple of weeks ago. If you guys been seeing my TikToks, I've bought a couple of cards of him already. Kristen Campbell was officially announced the minor league player of the year by Keith Law and per the Athletic. Kristen Campbell, unfortunately, did go out and was placed on the 7-day injured list here with a lat injury, but just some numbers of what he did or what he was currently doing. In Double A, had 8 home runs, 35 RBIs driven in, hit 362 with an on-base percentage of 463 and an OPS of 1.045. What he was doing currently right now in Triple A in just 19 games, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, hitting 286 with an on-base percentage of 412, OPS of 897, and an ISO of 200 in Triple A and Double A, an ISO of 221. Like I've mentioned in all my videos, I like to look at ISO when it comes to valuing minor league players and their power, even position players or established major league players. So ISO over 200 is always going to be good. So the fact that he was putting up those numbers and obviously his rise that he's had, it's very fun to see Kristen Campo getting the recognition that he had. And there was also a very cool interview with Section 10 that kind of got to know him a little bit better. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Kristen Campo. Just picked up also his first Bowman auto for on TikTok. That sender shipped out the cart terribly, unfortunately, but did get his first Bowman auto um, into the collection. So happy to officially have that on my end. And yeah, very exciting to see Kristen Campo moving his ranks up here in popularity, moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see what he does in Baseball America, because a lot of the rumblings that I'm hearing as well, or seeing as well, that he should be ranked higher than 26. So it's going to be interesting to see when those updates um, come out. Now, moving forward here, as far as the final thoughts on my end, kind of mentioned there in the beginning of the video, there is going to be a lot of exciting content coming out soon. We're finally moving some things around. I'm very, very excited for what the future holds, not only for me personally, but for the pod as well. It's going to be very, very fun. I'm curious to see how it's going to go. Like we've mentioned here, Boomtown. I highly doubt they're listening to this, but Boomtown is a big store, and it's consistently growing on our end. So if there's a way that I can make it happen, I'm pretty sure I can. I have been there as a consumer before a few times, not a lot, but I think it would be cool to get a vlog in there, and potentially maybe get like an interview, like a sit down interview, either if it's just me or maybe for the both of us. I think that'd be pretty cool to get their perspective on what it takes to run a cart shop, run a cart store, what it takes to get a guy like Victor Wembanyama in their store, and do the things that they're doing with Tops, because they obviously are doing some very exciting things here, in both the hobby and both in our local area. And then just for me personally, content wise, there are some things cooking on the stove a little bit. It is still currently right now in the works. So I'm excited to see where that goes. Nothing's been discussed, or future as far as discussed, but once I do get some more information and concrete stamps of approval, definitely we'll bring in that to you guys. So I'm happy to, uh, for it's kind of like me going on a tangent. I've been making content for a little bit, some time now. So the fact that things are finally starting to move a little bit, um, yeah, it's very fun. So I'm excited again to see things moving in the direction that I finally wanted to see. And hopefully it's a thing to come. I think the pod was just a little bit of a start of it. And hopefully we can start bringing some good content for you guys, for the listeners, both on Spotify, Apple, where you get your Apple podcasts, or again, if you're on the YouTube, checking out the videos, just my personal videos, and or the podcast videos as well. So again, very excited to see that. Um, Moving forward. So stay tuned for all the socials. Again, if you follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. A lot of the updates will be coming on there. You can follow me at Moon3PO. Bro PO, do you want to tag your Twitter on here?
Oh man, I got out. I've had it for so long, I can't even think about it off the top of my head. But let me see what I got right here for you. It is going to be underscore Robbie R. So it's underscore ROBBEEE. I'm under the name Mike Wazowski. Don't ask me why. Just I like to make it weird. All right.
The fact that you've
But yeah, follow get. It's always funny when I get replies from bots are like, "Hey, Mike Wazowski." I'm like, "Really, dude? Come on, you're better than that." That's how I know you a bot. Uh, but yeah, I like to throw some random ass tweets every now and then. So yeah, give me a follow. It's fun. Let's talk. Let's talk some ball.
Yep, and he will be tagged in the tweet promoting this. Hopefully, you're hearing this on Friday. We did record this on Wednesday night, changing up the schedule. But yeah, hopefully have this going out on Friday, along with the socials and the promotion of the video. But yeah, guys, if you're listening again on those platforms, do you think, guys, for listening? If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the exciting content to come. I appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for the next one. We out.